While The Legend of Zelda is my favorite video game series, my favorite genre is actually platformers. Because of that, you might think that I'd always be partial to the Super Mario games, and while I love them, there's one franchise that, when it comes to platforming, I rank above all else. It's the Donkey Kong Country series. And today, I'm going to review what I honestly believe is not only the best Donkey Kong Country game ever made, but the best 2D or 2.5D platforming game ever made. And I say that having played most of them, most of the Mario games, the Rayman, Legends, and Origins. And there's definitely competition out there, but I really do think that Tropical Freeze bests all of them. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is the game I'm reviewing today for both the Wii U and now the Nintendo Switch. All I have to say is that this game I truly believe to be a masterpiece, and it truly is a shame that not enough people brought it back when it was first released on the Wii U. Now that it's out on the Nintendo Switch, there's no better time to buy this game. I'm just going to give you the rundown of why I think this game really is deserving of top marks. Enjoy my review for Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Woo! Donkey Kong and his family are celebrating DK's birthday when a crew of Viking-inspired scallywags, led by the anthropomorphic walrus Lord Frederick, arrive. Assisted by penguins and other walruses, Lord Frederick uses his icy horn to send a chill across Donkey Kong Island. DK, Cranky Kong, Diddy Kong, and Dixie Kong are blown far off the island into the distant Mangrove Cove. An icy dragon uncovers DK Island in snow and ice. Lord Frederick then takes over Donkey Kong Island for himself. It is up to Donkey Kong and his friends and family to roll, swim, climb, run, and swing across many different kinds of island terrain, defeating every island's overlord boss until they finally reach and take on the sinister Lord Frederick and take back their home. While the premise is simple, the game's atmosphere, coupled with the music by David Wise, gives the game a legitimately epic and frankly moving feel, particularly in the later levels. It really harkens back to the feel I had when I played Donkey Kong Country 2 Diddy's Conquest. It even manages to surpass it in many ways. Furthermore, it's a great introduction to the absolutely incredible platforming that follows it. Tropical Freeze is absolutely bursting with color and creativity. Being the first Donkey Kong game in high definition, this game does not disappoint. The character model's polish is readily noticeable. Every single island looks and feels different. The designers ensured that each level is crafted with the utmost of detail. There's so many little details to this game that just make it look all the better, like a woodpecker chomping in the background or underwater sea life. There are even designs that might seem inconsequential at first, but contain hidden secrets, such as secrets to hidden levels or puzzle pieces. There are stages in this 2.5D platformer where the camera will shift to full 3D for particularly cinematic platforming segments. So David Wise, who's famous for composing the music for the original Donkey Kong Country trilogy, returns to compose this game. The maestro has managed to craft one of my all-time favorite video game soundtracks, even giving Donkey Kong Country True Diddy's Conquest a run for its money. This game has so many memorable soundtrack pieces, ones that I can find myself listening to over and over again. The music ranges from pure jazz catchiness to more ambient underwater music to even guitar pieces like electric guitar for some of the boss fights. Now, the music even gets downright epic, especially in some of the later stages of the game. It sounds like something out of Game of Thrones almost. David Wise has managed to create a truly incredible, atmospheric, and beautiful musical soundtrack for this game. Not only that, but the sound effects themselves are perfectly punchy and just spot on. Tropical Freeze has some of, no, scratch that, the best gameplay of any 2D or 2.5D platformer out there. And I say that having played just about all of the 2D Super Mario games. The controls are as fluid as they have ever been, like cutting through jello, honestly. And moving Donkey Kong and his friends has never felt better. The game controls so well that you rarely think about the controls in your hand. I played this game using the Pro controller mainly, and I never had any issues with the controls. The controls for Donkey Kong and his pals are as fluid as they are fun. So in Donkey Kong Country Returns, DK was able to use Diddy Kong as a temporary boost or as a second playable character in co-op mode. Here in Tropical Freeze, you have Diddy Kong, but you also have Dixie Kong as well as Cranky Kong. Every Kong has their own different advantage. Diddy Kong's jetpack can allow DK to soar to a platform directly in front of him, whereas Dixie Kong can use her hair to glide and even give DK an upward boost. Now Cranky Kong can use his walking stick like a pogo stick similar to Scrooge McDuck and bounce up and down even on areas where there are spikes. Now when your stamina reaches a certain point, you can then do a Kong High Five, which is called a Kong Pow, which incinerates every single enemy in the vicinity. Now, of course, in this game, you'll also have multiplayer co-op, which I've played a little bit with my dad and had a fair amount of fun with. Now, in the Nintendo Switch version, you can even play as the funkiest Kong of all, Funky Kong. I, for one, love all the different Kongs in this game, but I, for one, have the most fun with Dixie Kong and Cranky Kong. There's just something about Dixie Kong's just velocity with the way she's able to use her hair to soar, and of course Cranky Kong being able to actually use his walking stick to bounce up and down that I just have so much fun with, and it really just adds so much to the level design in this game. You can also purchase extra Kong barrels at Funky's Flying By. At Funky's Flying By shop, you can also purchase extra hearts, extra balloon lives, and other temporary upgrades using the many coins that you've collected throughout all the stages and levels. I will simply state that I truly do believe that Tropical Freeze has the very best 2D platforming stages of any game in its genre. The game is able to create some truly unique, weird yet immersive and wickedly fun level designs that also manage to feel organic, even more so than the last game. It's evident that the designers took into account that Donkey Kong, being an ape, weighs a lot more than, say, an Italian plumber would. As such, there are certain stages, like ones where you're running and jumping through windmills, where when Donkey Kong jumps and lands, the platforms will literally break beneath his feet. And you can really feel it when he jumps and lands on something and feel the weight that this ape has on him. There will be stages in this game where you will be jumping on leaves or using a hot air balloon to soar upwards. How about a minecart stage where you start out in a cart only for it to turn into a piece of wood that floats through the water before turning back into a cart? There are some stages where you'll be using the air being blown out of Viking horns to move from one platform to another. I, for one, loved the silhouette stages in the last game, and this one, in Tropical Freeze, manages to improve upon it even more. Not only does it look beautiful, but it offers some truly unique level design and platforming challenges. There are stages where you will be running through a grassy savanna where you're using the necks of paper giraffes to move from platform to platform, and others where you'll be using these watery seeds in order to put out fires in order to move. I am so glad that Retro Studios brought the swimming stages back for Tropical Freeze. Not only do they look absolutely gorgeous, but the swimming mechanics work just as well this time around as the land mechanics do. Now, not only that, but Donkey Kong can actually roll in and kill enemies underwater now, which is awesome. Now, there are stages in this game that involve both land and water levels, and they're so perfectly integrated into one another that it feels seamless. Like, every level design has so many components, so much depth to it, that it feels so organic and so fun and so immersive. One of my absolute favorite stages in this game has to be the Rocking Relic stage. Not only because I legitimately love the level design in this stage, but because it uses the Lockjaw's Locker music from Donkey Kong Country 2. And it sounds amazing, like incredible how they remix this music into this stage. The second to last island of the game, the Juicy Jungle, features some of the weirdest but most ingenious stages that you will find in this game. These stages will find you jumping literally on jello, including jello switches that you need to jump on and time just right, as well as 3D watermelon stages in just like this watery, just liquid juice. Yum! I honestly think that the very last stages in the game are the very best that Tropical Freeze has to offer. These are stages that are literally covered in ice and snow. In many instances, the ground beneath you will crumble due to the sheer icicles and the stalactites. Some of the very best stages in the last level, the last island, include homecoming hijinks, where you need to move fast from platform to platform as literally everything is crumbling in and around Donkey Kong's feet. There are stages such as Forest Folly, where you have to avoid being hit by giant snowflakes as you swing across the wasteland. Other stages I love include Mountaintop Tussle, where you have to barrel blast your way literally up an avalanche. I absolutely love this stage, both for its beautiful look, everything is covered in fog and snow, and for its very hard yet very rewarding level design. There's also the second to last stage right before the final boss, where you literally have to use Rambi the Rhino in order to make a mad dash through a molten volcano and face off against Lord Frederick himself. The last stage I want to talk about is this one where you literally have to avoid being crushed by falling icicles, literally falling right above you. I absolutely love this stage because it involves barrel blasting really fast and you have to avoid being crushed by giant icicles. It's a very hard stage, but it's very rewarding. If it wasn't evident, the level design in this game is absolutely phenomenal. Every time you think you have a new favorite level, another one comes along and manages to top it. There's even a rocket stage in this game where you spend the last section of the stage literally engulfed in a giant snowball, moving around and crushing everything in your path. Ha ha ha. Speaking of the rocket levels, they feel much improved in this game compared to the last game. Not only do the controls feel a lot better and smoother, but you also have more hit points this time around, and the sheer creativity of the level design make them a blast. Like there's one rocket stage where you literally have to fly through cut pumpkins in like watermelon juice, and it's crazy, but it's freaking awesome. The level design in this game is absolutely top notch, and so are the boss fights. You'll be fighting things like otters, you'll be fighting giant owls at the top of a tower, you'll be fighting an angry mad pufferfish in the middle of the ocean, you'll be fighting a polar bear with like a sledgehammer, and of course, the Snowmad King himself, Lord Frederick. The final boss against Lord Frederick is absolutely awesome, and delivering the final Kong blow to him is oh so satisfying. Now, this game is not for the faint of heart. You will die a lot, and I mean a lot. Now, you can also buy extra hit points in the form of heart pieces, as well as extra lives in the form of balloons, and other things at Funky's Flying By with your Kong coins. And this can help curve the difficulty a little bit. But the hard level design just makes beating every level all the more rewarding. Like, the harder the difficulty, the more the payoff. And beating this game really does feel like an accomplishment because of its difficulty. And all I have to say is that the gameplay, everything about the gameplay is just so flawless. Everything, the level design, the way everything is so perfectly integrated together, just the attention to detail makes this gameplay, like I said, the best for a 2.5D platforming game. Like I said, this game is absolutely top-notch 2D platforming gameplay at its finest, but there is so much content to this game. The levels are so fun that you'll want to replay them again and again as it is. But you also have all these Kong letters to collect, these puzzle pieces, these hidden stages you can find and unlock. And of course, if you collect all the Kong levels in every level on every island, you'll unlock these special, like, super duper duper hard bonus stages, which I haven't even beaten yet. There's also apparently like a bonus 7th stage that you can unlock if you do enough. Now, in this game, in the Switch version of this game, you can now play as Funky Kong. That's right, the grooviest, chillest Kong is finally playable. Not only can Funky Kong glide on his surfboard, but he can also swim underwater permanently without air bubbles, and even stand on spikes. A little OP if you ask me, but super awesome. He also has more hit points than Donkey Kong. There's just so much replay value to this game, and just so many reasons for you to come back and keep playing this game again and again, including, of course, the wickedly fun co-op mode if you have a friend. Like I said, I play this game with my dad, and even though he doesn't play games a whole lot, we still had a blast with the co-op mode. The loading times, particularly on the Wii U version of this game, can be painstakingly slow at times. This was fixed a ton on the Nintendo Switch version and has it running faster and smoother than ever. Now, while I absolutely love all of the Rambi the Rhino stages, it would have been nice to see a few more animal buddies in this game, like Engard the Swordfish, as he was in the original Donkey Kong game, in the water sections of this game. Apart from that, while the final boss against Lord Frederick is awesome, it would have been cool to have like a final stage, a final encounter like inside his Viking ship at the top of the island. As it was, we just had to fight him in a volcano dome, which was still pretty cool. The other issue with this game is that while the bonus stages are fun, the ones hidden within the main stages, they're also a little bit repetitive, as in, while there's a little bit of variation to them, a lot of it's sort of doing the same stuff. That said, I would recommend just playing the stages straight from start to finish the first time through, and really enjoying the level design. And then maybe when you go back to collect everything, then try the bonus stages. Finally, I have to talk a little bit about Funky Kong, which isn't a negative per se, it's just that he can almost make the game a little too easy if you play as him the first time around, as he has so many more hit points than Donkey Kong, and can breathe underwater and even stand on some of the spikes. If this is your first time playing Tropical Freeze, I would highly recommend that you play the game on its original mode, as you can really experience the level design and the difficulty as it was meant to be. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is a video game that manages to both pay homage to the games that inspired it from the past, yet it blows all of them out of the water in nearly every category. The game also manages to fix every issue I have with Donkey Kong Country Returns. Retro Studios took a franchise that was started by Rare on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, and it blew them all out of the DK water. This game has absolutely spot-on controls, absolutely incredible, beyond incredible level design, and absolutely beautiful, just wonderful music, and a difficulty that harkens back to the platformers of the Super Nintendo and NES days. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is a must-own if you have a Wii U or a Nintendo Switch. And of course, the added funky mode just makes it all the more worth the purchase. It really is a bummer that this game didn't sell so well on the Wii U back when it was first released, but now that it's out on the Switch, there's no better time to buy this game than now. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, I firmly believe to be a masterpiece, and I stand by what I said, saying that I really do believe it is the best 2D platformer I've ever played. I'm happy to give Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze a perfect 5 out of 5. Guys, thanks a lot for watching this review. I've been trying to really take this time to really improve my reviews and my videos, really make my editing better, make it snappier, really get the B-roll footage going, really make my reviews better. And I hope to continue to improve on this in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Also, please subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to follow me on Facebook and Twitter. See y'all next time. Have a happy Kong Day.